Hi guys, Luton here. Okay, so I'm back with my next video from last evening, and this was the one I was talking about. This was the game where my Battlefield crashed and I couldn't continue and I got all my audio problems from. But this was the last one I got before that. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, oh, why have you not got more maps from the normal rotation on? Why have you not done that? Okay, I specifically chose my map rotation for my server to get the best gameplay that I could, which means not choosing maps where people generally refuse to do anything in. And this is a perfect example of that. So you'll see in this game exactly... Oh, by the way, I'm just balancing things up a little bit here because the team that we had before, so you see I'm just removing a couple of guys and moving some people around to try and get some more balanced gameplay. It wasn't to improve my own team, it was actually that our team was too good, so I wanted to balance things around a little bit. Okay, so you can see the first thing that people have done is the classic error. Okay, the entire team is running to B. Okay, the entire team except bar my squad, because I said push up the road for A. What's going to happen is they're all going to die because they're just going to get bottlenecked and they won't be able to get through, and even if they do get to B, it will be a fail because it will make it more difficult for us to get over here. So I'm pushing up on A. And I had no idea about how many people are up here, so normally I didn't have smoke, which was a fail from my part. Normally I run this map with smoke immediately from the word go, but I didn't have that equipped, so I kind of screwed up. And I think I probably changed to it immediately now because we need it. Yep, there we go. So changing out to smoke because it's very, very necessary for this first base. Funnily enough, was I correct? If you look at the minimap, pretty much. Everyone's just getting slaughtered over there. Okay, so I was like, right, we need to move up here, we need to get A. I was saying my guys were wasting a lot of time, let's get in there, let's get up. And finally it seems that some of the blueberries on the team have got the right idea. Unfortunately, we've lost the element of surprise, which means that this road is now completely encamped and entrenched. We've got people on either side of the road here, and they're at A as well. And one of my guys going on A there, does he get the plant? Looks like he does. So you think, well, this isn't going too bad, Luton. It's, you know, people are moving to A, they're pushing it up, they're clearing it out. Well, that would be true, but watch. Our guys failed to support A, even though there's about 4 guys there. They failed to move up, they failed to clear it out. And it's becoming a little bit... Look, there's 4 guys, almost literally on A. But there's only one guy pretty much covering that area there. Killed them all. Reaper, see him over there with the PK Pashing? Thank you, Henry Lamb. So again, you may be thinking, well, you know, this isn't going too bad, Luton. It's sort of a, you know, an average Grand Bazaar game. At least people are moving up the road and they're not leaving the spawn entirely. Well, that's kind of true. But it's also true that they're not really moving forward either. They've kind of come up to the road here midway and they've just kind of stopped. So they're not actually in the spawn, but they're not really forward either. They're just kind of sitting in the middle of the road, not really doing anything. And the longer you do that, the less time you move up, the more you're going to get pinned down, the more it's going to be difficult for you to move forward. And this is the problem that I'm having now. Because people have not pushed forward, they're just getting slowly killed and you just get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. It's the same when you're defending. If you sit on the base, and I had, again, videos of this last night, exactly the same thing that happens, exactly the same thing that I've said on other videos, time and time again. If you're defending a base, if you stay in the base, the only thing that's going to happen is the entire enemy team will surround you and kill all of you. If you're defending, you can't stay in the base, you can't keep everyone in the base. You have to keep about half the people around the base and half the people in front to clear the area and create a buffer. I'm going to explain this on a little ABC, this is how you do it. But I played at least 3 rounds last night in which the defenders kept doing the same thing. They would sit in the base, the enemy team would surround the base from all directions and then slaughter everyone inside, take the base and move on to the next one. I've actually was saying to my guys in my clan this morning that I'm not sure if I can handle playing Battlefield much more, because so many of the games are having these, you know, basic gameplay errors again and again and again. I'm starting to lose the inspiration to play. Because, as you guys know, I don't really play for crazy kills or just racking kills, and I really like to move forward in a game. I like to win, but it's not all about winning. You know, I always say it's not about winning by any means. You should win in a tactical, controlled way. Now look, this is what I'm talking about. How come I did this? Look, the entire team couldn't get up here, and yet with just 2 drops of smoke and 1 guy down, I managed to push up here and take control. And by doing so, finally, my team were like, okay, and they've moved straight forward up the hill. It's not hard, you've just got to have the will to do it. And look, even now, they're not even moving forward. Look, there's 4 guys and they're sitting in this corridor here. If you sit in that corridor, they're going to just come down the corridor and kill you all. Which is exactly what just happened. Oh, they didn't. They survived. They survived. Don't bunch up in games. Don't stay in a big group. If you sit in a small area in a big group, the only thing that's going to happen is one person will throw a grenade or someone will run around the corner and just kill everyone. So now we have to take B, which shouldn't be very difficult because once you've got A, you can use the left-hand side as a staging point. You can also control the road a lot better. But we have only got 6 tickets left, so I wasn't particularly optimistic that we were going to get this. However, we do, because by I think chance more than anything else, someone runs in and gets the arm. They are very strong in there, look, they've got like 4 or 5 people. But again, it's exactly what I was just saying, I've said before. Why am I kicking these guys? Maybe they were just not doing anything. Oh, I think I noticed that they weren't really doing anything, so I was like, okay, I need to get them out. I was frustrated with this game like I was frustrated with the last game. So we get it armed. But you see the defenders here made a little error of their own, because I've said this before, once you've got A, if you're a defender and you lose A, the key thing is to try and control the road. Well, they didn't do that. They pulled back onto B, they kept people in B, and they kept people back on that hill on the road. You shouldn't do that. You should try and push forward and go back to controlling the map as you would have done have you got A and B, because if you lose the area around A, then what happens, and there's a guy back in here, but yeah, basically if you lose A, alright, then exactly what happened, our whole team used that area as a staging point to push across and shoot down into B. So having your whole team in B is no help, because people will just throw grenades and basically clear it out. As a defender on this map, if you lose that A area, you need to not just sit on that little, you see to my right here, this little mound, which is what they were doing. They were staying over here and just kind of shooting across. That's no good. It's not going to help. You need to actually move forward. You need to push forward. You need to get out of the defending area. And you can see at this point, I just had enough. I was like, we're just moving forward. I was dropping a lot of smoke, rushing forward. I really, really wanted to take this game forward. I didn't want to get in the same situation we were just in. I wanted to make sure we took the game forward well. My guys were calling out to me. I think John was calling out to me about some people behind or something. Not the best aiming from me particularly, but I wanted the F2000 for that first base because I knew there's going to be a lot of rushing and close quarter attacking, which this gun is excellent for. I probably, if I had the opportunity, to change out to something like the Scar L. I don't think I bothered, but I probably should have done. Something that gives you a little bit more medium range engagement. So I'm pushing to A first, and A is an important one to prioritise on this base because it's a long, long way to get out of your spawn. It's a long way to run. I got caught out there, but I wanted to get past so that I could try and control from this corridor area here. And none of our team have moved forward, so again, makes it very difficult for us to get here. Most of them are going for B, and this is a fairly generic thing that happens with Rush. People go for the nearest MCOM. I do need to make some kind of video specifically about which base to prioritise and why. The general rule of thumb for me is that if an MCOM is far away from your base, it's the first one to go for. It's very, very simple, very obvious why that is that it takes you longer to get there, therefore it's going to be more difficult for you to get tickets. Now you can see that our spawn is an extremely long way away from here, so controlling A at this stage in the game is really key. If you don't take A, it can be, if you take B, it can be very, very hard to get to, because it's not about how easy it is for them to defend it, although it is quite easy because you can just sit with someone with an LMG bipod down the end here, or a couple of guys, and they can just literally fire down this corridor, and then the rest of the team can focus. You can have one person, that's basically your secure backup. You can have a couple of claymores, and then the rest of the team can just control the market area and the road, and you should be okay for controlling it. The thing is that whilst they still have two bases, you have the distraction of the other base to watch. So it means that the team have to kind of split their attention. As soon as you take this one, then they've only got B to worry about. And that's not so hard for us to keep under control, because there's that, as I said on my video, I think I did rush routes for this, and basically over at B there is like one little door and the road, so you only have 2 points to cover as attackers to prevent them from getting to that. So B should actually be really simple to control, whereas A as an attacking team is much more difficult to get to, and it's simply a case of distance as well. I know B seems like it's literally only just next door, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that you've got the cover, you've got lots of cover, whereas A, there's a lot of areas you have to move across to get to. So it's a much more difficult base to actually control and take. If you've taken B already, it's much harder to make the whole movement. There's a lot of ground to cover to get to it. So taking A first is a really key thing to do. Once you've got B, like you can be in this whole area here, you can just grenade it. It's really easy to grenade. You can sit up on top of the roof, control the road, control the door. There's just 2 points. That's all you've got to worry about. Very easy to focus your fire on that. Now we're coming up to the end here, because even though they're not coming up to the round, it was sort of midway after this base that basically my game just crashed out, and that was what screwed me for this evening. But I just thought I'd keep this in here just up to this point, because it was interesting the way we went from that first base to the second base. So that's really what was the interesting point here. This corridor is a great way for moving up, and often it doesn't get checked, but more and more I find that people are covering that, which is good. It means that people are being more aware of maps and they're learning. In the same way that the right hand corridor that I always used to say was a really easy, surefire way to get to the last base, more and more when I use that, I find that people are actually covering that now. So it's good, it shows that people are getting a bit more intention, but still some fairly heavy errors from the whole teamers in general, not on this necessary map, but overall when it comes to gameplay. So that's my second video. I'll be honest, it wasn't the best night. There was some very difficult balancing with the team and stuff, and the games were not the most amazing, but objective gameplay was still there, so it's all good, and thanks to everyone for coming along. We'll be doing some more very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Look forward to your comments.